We're going to start serving dinner here shortly, but first we do have this message from Governor Bevin, who could not be here tonight in person, but sends his regards.
This is Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin. I wish I could be there with you in person. Thank you for your generosity, all that has brought each of you to the room tonight. Thank you for your generous support of so many worthy causes. When I chose to answer the high call to public service back in 2015 and was subsequently elected as the governor of Kentucky, I established for myself a code of honor. It became my annual tradition to share with you all a story of sorts, a spin-off, you might say, of tonight's festivities that would include naming each of the horses that was seeking to become the game winner of the greatest horse race on earth, the Kentucky Derby. And I might say that although Dale Romans might beg to differ, I would like to believe that my first three efforts have been, at least by my standards, dare I say, a win-win-win. Nonetheless, naming each Derby horse in this unorthodox manner can be a bit taxing. And while some might think it improbable that this could be done year after year, I am always an optimist. Although I must admit that the cutting humor I had hoped would unfold naturally feels a bit more forced this time around. I guess I have no one to blame but myself, because what was supposed to be a fun little Derby Week tradition has become a war of will. To accomplish this task, I knew that I needed to just keep it all in perspective. It's not as if I'm storming Omaha Beach here, or accomplishing some feat that in the first century might have garnered the attention of the Roman historian Tacitus. This is just a tiny part of the greatest week in Kentucky each year. And I truly appreciate the moments like this that I get to share with folks like you. Because being the governor is not unlike being strapped at times into a wildly undulating Vekoma roller coaster, lots of ups and downs and sudden turns. I started this job 3.5 years ago with jet black hair, but have since been visited by the gray magician, as have many politicians before me, and by the looks of many of you in this room, the same could be said for many trainers. But how blessed indeed we truly are to be Americans, to have the luxury of being here tonight, associated with the magnificence of the horse racing industry. For me, it's a long way from a small village of 250 people near the Canadian border, sharing a small bedroom with my three brothers in a small country house, being hauled around in a 1968 Chevy Impala wagon with no muffler. Not exactly a roadster, but it got me to where I am today. And so whatever road you took in life to bring you here tonight, please join me in raising a glass of whatever sits in front of you. Water, iced tea, bourbon, a long-range toddy, whatever you have, grab it and help me toast the tremendous efforts of this year's Derby trainers. Cheers to each and every one of you. In closing, as you make your final adjustments as trainers or your final picks as bettors, I would imagine that for maximum security, some of you will be knocking on wood, some perhaps crossing their fingers, and some of you will be offering up a prayer. So whether you are praying to the Lord God Almighty, to Yahweh, to Allah, or to the master fencer himself, my personal prayer is that we each have a safe and fun Derby weekend. And that in the years ahead, no matter the outcome for your particular horse, that you will look back on Derby Day number 145 as plus que parfait. More than perfect indeed. Happy Derby, and may God bless you. We are Kentucky.